So I got an update on the YZ85. I took out the engine yesterday, got this bad boy out of here, cleaned up the frame, so started wiping down the frame and stuff. It actually looks pretty decent. Got a little bit of wear marks here and whatnot from MX boots, but it's looking pretty good so far. Cleaned it up pretty well. Powder coating looks alright. Touch it up here and there. Got the rear shock off. This is a Race Tech rear spring. 1677, not sure what that means, but I don't know what rating this is, what spring rate it is, but I'm going to test it out and use it for a little bit and go from there. I might put a BBR big kit or something like that, or I think the CRF will fit as well, CRF 150R. What else? We're going to be cleaning all this pieces up. Got the rear brake caliper, got the linkage. I ordered new bearings for the swing arm because when I got it and I showed up at the guy's house when I was picking this up, it was on a bike stand, and so the rear wheel was off the ground, and I was like, did you put new bearings or anything in the swing arm? He's like, oh yeah, it should be good to go, whatever. And so I went to grab the bearings, or grab the rear wheel and moved it, and the whole thing was just, the whole thing was moving, and I was like, He's like, well, I guess I didn't do the bearings. So I ordered these the other day. This one is totally shot. Crazy looking. It's supposed to be straight up and down, so that right there is supposed to look like this one right here. So it's totally, the needle bearings, half of them are missing out of it. So I ordered a new set, should be coming in here soon. Gonna be cleaning this all up. Hopefully, my goal is to clean this and then powder coat it, or not powder coat it, I'm actually just gonna be painting it myself. So I think for now I'll clean it up, paint it, and it'll be good to go. Good enough for now, but it'll be black. That's the goal. I'm also going to be painting the subframe black, most likely, just to match everything, just so it doesn't stand out. This is an older style. This is a 2013 frame. I think it's an 06 subframe or so. The engine itself seems to be in pretty good condition. This is an aftermarket Fathead Racing head, and I have to surface it on the surface plate over here. I'm going to be lapping it, getting the top smooth here on the surface plates, cast iron, and gonna be getting those flat, and then also I'll be removing the head studs, and then gonna be flattening those on the surface plate as well, just to make sure the mating surfaces are good. And this is bored out to a 103, so it's no longer an 85cc. But yeah, so it looks like pretty decent, and the wall of the cylinder inside is actually really good. Here, let's take this off. Hopefully. Oh, there it goes. Let's see here if I can get. So the inside of my cylinder looks pretty good. It's hard to see, man. There we go. You can still see the cross hatching in the cylinder, so I think the cylinder is okay. I'm gonna check the piston. Scoring on it, I think, is a little bit of scoring on the piston, but not too bad. We're gonna take a look over it though before I install everything back. It's got a Wiseco. Where is it here? WR111002 connecting rod. So it's a Wiseco bottom end. I've heard good and bad things about Wiseco bottom ends. I don't know. We'll see. We'll run it for a bit. Everything seems good. The bearings, it has side-to-side play, but up and down play, I can't feel anything. And it was running when I got it. I just wanted to, I noticed when I took off the head, I just wanted to look at it just in case, and the head had some dents in the head here, and the inner surface gasket, or the inner gasket here, this rubber gasket, was blown out. So it was blowing some of the compression into the coolant system, and the coolant was leaking inside of the cylinder and burning on top of the pistons. So here's the piston. It's a little guy, but it is diameter for the 103. This is the top of the piston. As far as the buildup of the carbon and whatnot, I think it might be buildup from burnt off coolant. I'm not sure because I had a little bit of a head gasket leak. The scoring, not too bad. A little bit of scoring here on this side of the skirt. A little bit on this side, not bad. And then also the blow-by from the ring gap is not bad. There's no blow-by coming down here, so that seems all good. I'll probably just put this one back in and run it for a bit. It was running good when I first got it. I just need to replace the top end gasket. And then the needle bearings here, top end needle bearings are moving. I don't know if stock, they're supposed to be a little bit wider or whatnot, but I'm going to probably, I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I might turn some spacers, some aluminum spacers, to go on either side of this needle bearing, just to keep it more centered while it's running, because it seems to like move to one side or the other. I know it needs some play, but it just seems like too much play back and forth. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, just if I should do that or if this is regular for a YZ85. Alright, so this is where I'm at currently with the YZ85 build. I have the frame all taken apart. So I have two frames here. I gotta paint. I gotta strip this paint off, prime it, and paint this one. I'm going to be using some HVT paint, wheel paint, prime it, and then paint it. This is currently the status of the YZ85. So I took the forks off. I have the triple tree mount. I'm going to be polishing these up or painting them. Not sure quite yet. Still, I'm going to work on fitting the wheels first before I paint the rear swing arm. It looks clean and stuff like that now, but I'm gonna spray it black, and then we're gonna go from there. So currently, right now, I'm gonna be working on putting a new head gasket in, a new head gasket and base gasket as well. This one's from Tusk. I think it was like $13 or so. I'm gonna be putting the base gasket here, and I'm gonna try to get the engine going first before I start doing everything else, just to make sure the engine's good to go. I got the engine mounted and all mocked up for right now. Just gonna test the engine. I got the head gasket on and the head on here. I'm gonna check for spark first, and then I'm gonna see what happens. I got the pipe all hooked up, got fuel, got everything essential to making the bike run. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it starts up. Oh yeah, we got spark. Alright, so here's the second attempt. After the first attempt, I realized that when I tightened the spark plug, the insert in this Fathead Racing head was spinning, so the insert wasn't tight all the way against the engine at the top, so it wouldn't hold compression, I'm sure, if I tried to start it. So I took some of the other surface away just so it would compress it better. So if that doesn't make sense, I'll just explain it better later on. But for right now, I got fluid in it this time, so the radiators have fluid, and this is the first startup. We'll see what happens with the choke on. I have fuel, I have spark. We'll check it, see what happens. Alright, let's see what happens. Choke up. I know I didn't have the airbox on, so it'll probably run better with the airbox, but for now, it's good. So what I'm doing here is milling the surface of this hub because it's too wide for the space between the rear swing arm and on the axle and whatnot. So I'm going to be milling the hub down on both sides, about 100 thousandths or so on both sides, and then it'll make it closer to the stock width, which is over here. So what I'm trying to do is get this stock width between these two, the sprocket and the rear rotor. I'm trying to get these widths about the same, so when I get my new sprocket and new rotor on here, it should be line up close to the same with the caliper and the chain and everything. So that's the goal. We'll see what happens.